I'm Pete McCarthy for SNY.TV, and this is Know Your Enemy, presented by Pepsi Max. The Yankees host Baltimore in the Bronx this weekend as the AL East division race continues to tighten up. So to learn more about the Orioles, we're talking to Mark Brown from CandonChat.com. Mark, thanks a lot for joining us. And here we are, the Orioles 3 games back of the Yankees going into a 3-game series in the Bronx. I imagine Baltimore is falling all over themselves for this Orioles team and what they've been able to accomplish.
Pete, thanks for having me on, and you were definitely right, and I am out there with anybody. I'm as surprised as anybody because it's August the 31st, and the Orioles are in a playoff spot. It's been the first time in 15 years that they've had any kind of contention, really, and it's very exciting. I have no idea really how to handle it because I don't remember what it's like to root for a good baseball team. So really the whole Orioles fan base is kind of remembering what it's like to, you don't have to panic about every loss, but then you get really excited about every win. It's just really new and exciting.
It's got to be a ride. And the Orioles, they've won a lot of tight games, 24-6 in one-run games this year. And another thing that stands out, the starting pitching. The Orioles have started 11 different guys in the rotation so far this season, and a lot of the young pitchers there early aren't there right now. And how has this all come together for the Orioles as far as that rotation goes?
Well, the big difference with the rotation this year versus years past is, like you said, the guys that were underperforming, they're getting shipped out. Like Jake Arrieta got sent down to the minors, and Tommy Hunter has been demoted several times, and Brian Mattis got sent down, and he ended up coming back as a reliever. So, I mean, when those guys haven't been working out, they've, Dan Duquette has just sent him out and tried a different guy off his list. It's his magic list of unlikely contributors he seems to be just working off of this year.
And let's look at some of those unlikely contributors, or at least the ones the Yankees will see in this series. And we start with tonight, Miguel Gonzales. He has been one of those unlikely contributors, 5-3 on the season. How do you explain his success? It's seemingly come out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, they signed him out of the Mexican League, I think, in March. And so he had never played in the major leagues before, although he was in big league systems before. So, I mean, if you watch him when he's doing well, it's hard to figure out how he's succeeding because he's a fly ball pitcher who pitches at Camden Yards half the time, and he'll be in Yankee Stadium this weekend. And you're like, man, how the heck is he getting guys out? But he just has a fastball that has just enough movement and deception in his delivery that he can just get those easy fly balls when he's really on his game. Of course, when he's not, then he has some control problems, and then he can walk a few too many guys and possibly give up home runs, which never really what you want to hear from your starting pitcher right when you're about to face the Yankees. But he could have a pretty good game if he's on his game.
And he's been good of late. He's won 3 of his last 4 decisions, and then on Saturday it'll be Wei-Yin Chen. Has he kind of been the bedrock of this Orioles rotation this year?
Wei-Yin Chen is probably one of my personal favorite Orioles this year, just because he was so unexpected. And I mean, anybody could have signed him out of the Japanese League, and the Orioles got him for a great contract. And after Jason Hamill got hurt, he was really the only pitcher who was consistently pitching well. So he's another guy who's just like, you're going to look at him and say, man, how the heck is he doing this? Because he's another fly ball pitcher. And so he uses a bit more off-speed pitches to kind of change speeds and confuse hitters. And he gets a bit more with strikeouts than Gonzales does as a result. But he's just, he's getting close to his, what they want to say is his innings limit, because in the Japanese League, pitchers only go every 6 days, so they throw less in the season. So I think his high innings was 180, and he's getting close to that. So they're starting to, skip a couple days so he can get extra rest towards the end of the year. So if he's feeling fatigue, that could be a bad sign coming into this series. But his last start was great, and he hopefully will have a good win against the Yankees too.
There we go. And then on Sunday, we'll see Chris Tillman. He's been a big prospect for a long time. Came over with Adam Jones in the Eric Bedard deal a few years ago. And is this the year that he's finally put it all together?
Yeah, the thing about Chris Tillman that it's easy to forget is that all those years he was up and he was not really succeeding in the big leagues, he was just so young. And now he's finally enjoying some kind of success. The Orioles, they just call him the pitching guru, really, Rick Peterson. Like, his big task was working with these guys in the minor leagues. And Tillman spent the early part of the year in Norfolk because he didn't even make the team out of spring training. And it seems like whatever he's gotten from Peterson has finally got him to fix some mechanical things that were causing him a lot of problems. So that's helped him now that he's come up to the big leagues. And he's had some clunker outings, but he's had some really really brilliant ones against teams. Like his 2 best games were against Seattle. So who cares if you pitch well against the Mariners? But he's had some good games against other teams also.
Yeah, well, now y'all have the challenge of going up against the New York Yankees. Be sure to check out Mark's work at CamdenChat.com. Mark, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And remember, for all the latest Yankees coverage, be sure to check in at itsaboutthemoney.net and chat with other Yankees fans throughout the series at NYYFans.com.